Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are here to do the hearing for Maria Lopez of El Salvador. In this hearing, we will have two co-counsels representing Maria Lopez as a legal representative. We have Mr. Numan Tarin and Viatcheslav Doudkin as a co-counsel. And then at the very end, we will have Mr. Chao Ma as the co-counsel who will be presenting the submission. So at this time, I'll be starting asking questions from Maria Lopez, which would be presented by Chao Ma, and then we move forward with Selvek. So Ms. Lopez, the first question that I have for you is, how is your relationship with Carlos right now? When was the last time you had contact with him? And what was the nature of your conversation with him?
It was in April 2019. Carlos found out about the baby. He sent me threatening text messages and voice messages on WhatsApp, telling me that he would find me. He threatened to cut off my legs when I showed up, and also that he would cut off my head.
Where is Carlos right now?
He's in our home in El Salvador and living with a woman he brought back from Uruguay.
How long have you been married to him? Have you ever tried separating from him? What has been the result?
I have been married to Carlos Lopez since 2005. I have considered many times to escape from Carlos, but you know, El Salvador is a small country. I don't know where I can go. He will always find me. I fear of losing my life.
How did your relationship break down with him?
Around 2014 to 2015, when my husband was working in Uruguay, I find out that he was unfaithful to me, and I also find that he has a relationship with several women in Uruguay, and he became very abusive since then. In year 2017, he told me to leave my home as he wanted to bring his girlfriend back to live in my home.
You said that you're very afraid of him. Why do you think that he can find you anywhere in the country?
As all of this happened in the past few months, and I know that I have no place in El Salvador to go. It's a very small country, and my husband says that he can find me anywhere in El Salvador and kill me. I believe him. A few years ago, our son, Gustavo, left home for some time due to stress and abuse, and he was suicidal and went away to work in a different town in El Salvador. And his father was able to track him. I'm fully convinced that Carlos would even use threats and violence to the children in order to find me.
You said in your testimony that you're in a new relationship right now. How has been the nature of your relationship with this new partner? Do you live with him? Does he support you financially in any way?
I and Miguel started to develop an intimate relationship, and I got pregnant in June 2018 with his baby. I don't live with him. I was financially independent, and my son also helped me with some financial support.
Miguel, what does he do for a living? Where was he when you met him, and where is he now?
He's a truck driver. We were both living in San Salvador. Miguel disappeared. I can't reach him. I hope Carlos didn't do anything to him.
Thank you. At this point, I'll request my colleague Viatcheslav Doudkin to proceed further. Thank you.
Okay, so how did you come to Canada?
I came to Canada with a multiple entry visa.
Mm-hmm. Is this your first time coming to Canada? What was the purpose of coming to Canada?
No, this is my second time to Canada. My previous visit to Canada was with my husband to visit his uncle. But this time I arrived in Toronto in October 2018 to have my baby.
What has changed now? Why did you want to stay?
You know, after my baby was born in Canada in March 2019, the hospital sent paperwork for my baby's birth back to my home address in El Salvador. This was in April 2019. My husband read the letter and found out about the baby and was livid. He started sending me threatening text messages and voice messages on WhatsApp, telling me that he would find me and want to kill me. You know, I get really feared.
Okay. So why did the hospital send documents to your country, back home?
I think the last time when we were in Toronto, I got really sick and went to an emergency. I believe that they have had my address in their records since then. And during my labor, I wasn't able to think clearly, and it didn't occur to me that they might have sent the paperwork to my address in El Salvador.
Do you have any family members in Canada? Where are they?
No, I don't have any family members in Canada.
Okay. Why are you afraid of your husband?
Carlos keeps sending me threatening messages to me as soon as he finds out about the baby. You know, there's nowhere safe for me to go in El Salvador. And he said it's a small place. He can find me, and the police can't protect me no matter where I'm in El Salvador. Carlos has a gun too, and it freaks me out.
Okay. Did you reach out for state protection in El Salvador? What was the outcome?
As I said, we called the local police several times, but sometimes they did not respond to the call. Sometimes they came to the home, but didn't do much arguing that it was a family issue, and some of them were even Carlos' friends. I don't have any police reports. Carlos just laughed about the police being called. They don't help women being abused by their husband. Even if Carlos was arrested by the police, they would let him go, and he would be even angrier and seek further revenge.
Have you tried relocating to other countries like Uruguay?
No, I don't have any connections in Uruguay, but as Carlos has spent many years in Uruguay, I worry if I move there, he can still find me and hurt me there.
I see. If you stay in Canada, what happens to your children back home?
I will try to bring them to Canada too. It's not safe for them to live that close to Carlos in El Salvador. And I worry Carlos would keep abusing my children.
I see. That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Thank you. At this point, we will allow our colleague Chao Ma to provide the submission.
Thank you, Mr. Board Member. I'm submitting this submission to bring to your attention that Maria Lopez is a legit refugee under Section 96 of the ERPA and require an immediate protection for the following reasons. Mrs. Lopez has a well-founded fear of persecution based on being a member of social particular group, which is a woman living in an abusive relationship in El Salvador. Based on the NACLA reporting in America, El Salvador is known to be the worst place for women among the Latin American countries. The report states that a high number of women get abused by their partners on an ongoing basis. Many abuses go unnoticed due to the country's failed justice system for not protecting women. Hence, perpetrators further inflict their vicious act on their already broken women. My client, Miss Lopez, has a well-founded fear of persecution. She believes that she would be killed if stayed and returned to El Salvador. I found that fear to be genuine. Based on the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights report in October 2021, El Salvador is taking certain steps like adopting equity policies to provide gender equity in El Salvador. Despite these advances regarding the right to life, the Commission notes with concern that El Salvador continues to be the country with the highest number of murders of women in the region. In addition to the above, the Commission is concerned about the high prevalence of sexual violence against the women, and in particular, its impact on children and adolescents in the country. According to data from Office of the Attorney General, 6,142 women were victims of sexual violence in 2018, including 2,600 rapes. In 2019, the Office of the Attorney General recorded 6,421 cases of sexual violence, while in the first half of 2020, 2,491 cases were recorded. These are the only cases being reported. There may be many other cases not even reported. Availability of state protection, as in the case of Gonzales Torres, while undertaking a contextual approach in determining whether a claimant rebutted the presumption of state protection, one ought to answer the following question. A, the nature of the human rights violation. B, the profile of the alleged human rights abuser. C, the efforts that the victim took to seek protection from authorities. D, the response of the authorities to requests for their assistance. And E, the available documentary evidence. Ms. Lopez was being abused by her husband, Carlos Lopez. Ms. Lopez reached out to the authority or police in a couple of incidents. Her efforts merely failed due to the nature of the Mr. Carlos' relationship with the police. In some occasions, the police was incompetent to handle the situation. This, as a result, led my client, Ms. Lopez, unprotected in the mercy of those who abusing her. In this case, the husband, Mr. Carlos. Mr. Carlos consistently abused her and bullied her to the extent that she felt suffocated and could not speak up. About internal flight alternative in El Salvador. The internal flight alternative is a two-pronged test. One, the IRB must be satisfied on the balance of probability that the IFA exists in the other part of the country of the claimant. Two, conditions in the part of the country considered to be an IFA must be reasonable to the needs of everyone in all circumstances. El Salvador is a small country. My client's son, Gustavo, tried to run away from the house on one occasion. He was caught and brought back to the house. This, in fact, closed the door to my client to not even try to run away or even think about it, because she knew that she would be caught too. Mr. Carlos, the abuser, repeatedly also warned my client about the repercussions of running away from the house. Since my client lived in an abusive relationship, she was extremely scared and did not want anything to happen to her or her family. In terms of the best of interest of child, although the newborn baby is not part of the refugee claim case, it is important to note that the best interest of the child is at stake in the case under Section 25 of the ARPA. Ms. Lopez has two children back in El Salvador and one in Canada, who's a Canadian citizen by the default of the birth. Let me first talk about the difficulty that the newborn baby would face if returned to El Salvador. As we know, El Salvador is a poor country. Moreover, more than 70% of the population live behind the poverty line. Raising a kid is never easy with two parents, let alone being raised by a single parent. who does not have any support from anyone and is also constantly in fear of being killed by an abusive husband. In fact, the newborn baby, a Canadian citizen, would be penalized and suffered for no legitimate reasons. I strongly believe that it is the right of the child to be raised in Canada, go to school like Canadians, and have the same equal opportunities like any Canadian child would have in Canada. Mrs. Lopez also has 2 children in El Salvador, one son who is above the age of majority, and one daughter who's a teenager. Again, the daughter will be at risk for being away from the mother, who she depends on a lot. She is in her prime years to be guided and role modeled by her mother. She would definitely suffer emotionally, mentally, and socially for being away from her mother, while her mother is struggling to have her case heard and get accepted in Canada. It is for the best interest of both children if the mother gets accepted in Canada and her application is processed as quickly as possible. I trust that this evidence and the testimonies are satisfactory to you, and we look forward to your decision on granting Ms. Maria Lopez the refugee protection. Thank you, Mr. Member.
Thank you very much.